Okay, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm pretty sure 100 guys could beat one gorilla unless he had watched this show and become incredibly smart. At that point, all bets are off. It's like Planet of the Apes, fast takeoff situation. YouTube says they're running an experiment where a small percentage of viewers will see blurred video thumbnails when they search for topics that frequently include sexual themes. The feature is meant to help users avoid accidentally viewing sensitive content if that's what they want. Users will have the option to unblur the thumbnails though, if they're more in touch with their sensitive side. But for most people, blurring mature content should dissuade them from viewing it. I mean, hey, it worked for the Japanese. Wait, YouTube apparently ran a similar experiment back in 2023. They love science, but this latest one comes as the tech world is grappling with how to stop children from having their brain melted by social platforms. That's only for grown-ups. We're closer to death, so it doesn't matter. But who's responsible for age verification? Well, Meta, Spotify, and other app makers think not them. They think it's Apple and Google's job. So they formed a lobbying group called the Coalition for a Competitive Mobile Experience, or CFACME. They care about obviously good and uncontroversial things like interoperability, a level playing field, and age verification being someone else's responsibility. Okay, I'm mocking them, but there is a good argument that if we figure out how to verify age without compromising privacy, it probably shouldn't be a separate implementation for every app. Regardless, it's good that people are thinking about this now and even enacting legislation. Finland just banned students from using smartphones at school except under strict conditions. Like if one of their TikToks hit 1 million likes. You gotta check it at that point. Taiwan just passed a law that will limit the world's preeminent chipmaker TSMC from manufacturing its top-tier technologies outside of the country, a move partially meant to stave off annexation attempts from China. Now, despite this, TSMC just broke ground on its third chip manufacturing facility in Arizona, which some industry leaders reportedly expect to produce chips based on the company's currently most advanced N2 process. But they'll change their mind, right? I mean, speaking of changing your mind, Trump just softened his tariffs a bit for the auto industry, exempting automakers from paying some tariffs on steel and aluminum if they're part of a whole assembly. Unfortunately, it's not the tariffs themselves that are really the issue anymore. It's the fact that they're constantly changing. So one company's looking better than the others after the most recent tariffs though, and you'll never guess who it is. 2 Tesla models are the only vehicles exempt from the new auto tariffs, which don't apply to vehicles with a domestic content rating of at least 85%, the exact rating given to the Model Y by the Made in America Auto Index from the Kogod School of Business. Phew! Congrats, Tesla. Close one. Meta summoned some AI announcements at their first specifically AI-focused conference, which they called LlamaCon, but which I will refer to as Meta-LlamaCon because it sounds like an ancient book of demonically overhyped bullshit. In addition to llama models being available through an API like OpenAI's offerings, Meta also finally unveiled a dedicated mobile app for their Meta AI chatbot with a better voice mode and a social feed so you can see what kind of slop the AI is throwing at your friends. It's slop, but hey, that's my friend's slop. It slurps different. If you'd prefer to keep things just between you and the AI though, WhatsApp says it's developing a system kind of similar to Apple's private cloud to accomplish this. This feature follows complaints about Meta AI being suddenly added to WhatsApp with no way to remove it. Polly Hudson at The Guardian compared it to Apple's genius idea back in 2014 to make everyone's iTunes automatically download a free U2 album. Why would anyone be mad about this? Somehow, there are still WikiHow entries on how to get rid of it. In other AI news, Wikipedia says it's gonna use AI now. Don't freak out, calm down. They are very explicitly not using it to write the text on the Wikipedia pages. They're just using it to automate some support processes so that human editors can spend their time editing out all the nonsense other humans are constantly trying to force in there. Because AI tools should be used to help humans. That's why free stock image provider FreePic and AI startup Fal.ai developed F-Lite, an open source image generator trained entirely on properly licensed content. Another AI-focused production company, Asteria, says the same is true for their models, which will be a core part of an upcoming experimental sci-fi film developed in part by actress and writer Natasha Lyonne. According to her, this project is gonna be wild, saying, "Imagine if Diane West and Diane Keaton, at their loquacious best, decided to take a journey through the Matrix for sport, only to find themselves holding up an architectural blueprint, and you'll have a sense of the adventure we've been on." Well, I'm sensing something. It's a segue to the sponsor, Opera and their reimagined browser, Opera One R2, because you deserve a better browser, and this one might be it. For example, the music player lets you control your beats from Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and more without interrupting your browsing, because you can pop it out and move it literally anywhere. Over here? Yep. What about over here? That's, what about? Next up, Tab Traces tracks your recently used tabs with a subtle visual trace. Perfect for those of us who suddenly find ourselves reading the wiki page for the French playwright Honoré de Balzac and have no idea why, but not anymore. Thanks, Opera. That's just scratching the surface. Tab islands intuitively group tabs together based on context, or you can do it manually. There's a built-in split screen function, stunning themes with fully customizable browser colors, sounds, and animated backgrounds, and there's even Aria, Opera's free built-in AI tool. Summon the Aria command line with a keyboard shortcut anytime to get writing help, ask questions about an image, and even generate one so other people can ask you about it? This is a new generation of browser people, so check out Opera for free today using our link in the description. I know the tech news would make the gorilla super smart, but I don't really feel it yet. Maybe I have to do the quick bits first. Nintendo's virtual game card system, announced alongside the Switch 2, is now rolling out for Switch 1 systems. But to current Switch owners' dismay, it closes a loophole that has allowed two Switch consoles to play the same digital copy of a game online simultaneously. Now, in some scenarios, you might still be able to pull this off if one console is disconnected from Wi-Fi, so you won't be online, but that's obviously unacceptable, and the Switch 1 is now ruined. I will not be pre-ordering the Switch 2, because Nintendo's pre-order requirements say I can't. Android 16 will bring some noticeable UI changes, according to a rundown by Android Authority. Many new elements, including the quick settings panel, will feature fairly iOS-esque frosted glass transparencies instead of solid backgrounds, making dark mode, in some cases, look a hell of a lot not like dark mode. I've had enough of this. I think it's time for a dumb phone, like the Sidephone, a stylish new tiny guy with a swappable keypad. Oh, it's keypad and up to 8 days of battery. That thing can't hurt me. It's too small. Google CEO Sundar Pichai took the stand during the Department of Justice's antitrust remedies trial to warn the judge that forcing Google to break up its business could have unforeseen consequences. For example, if Google was forced to license its search API so other companies could build proper competitors, why, that might crush Google's spirit to the point they wouldn't even care to keep working on search. And then people might use other search engines instead. Why, that's the point. And smart rings are getting pretty sophisticated. I think we're now ready for the raw ring. A finger loop for you and your partner that's packed with sensors, so it can notify you when your partner is feeling aroused. The Raw Ring's creators say their product can help married couples build loyalty and trust by not trusting that they'll behave themselves. I don't know. Where was their head at here? They're also making a dating app, and I don't need to know how that works, but I would like to know if you can spoof this thing by putting the ring on a sausage, because if so, I mean, the whole idea is shot. Just like this episode. Thanks for watching, you 100 guys. I'm Gorilla, and I'll be back here on Friday for more tech news to give to you. I don't think this is working.